episode 740 of Apartment Hacker. This is Mike Bird at Apartment Hacker. It's my mission to tease out human potential in the multifamily space. So I want to give you a little tip on adversity. And when you're facing adversity, when you're going into adversity, when your emotions are sort of amping up to the point that they potentially could hijack your logic, and you might say things that you don't mean, or you say things that are out of context or out of the appropriate sort of earshot or channels of people that you work with and for. One of the things, it sort of elicits a battle in you, sort of that fight or flight syndrome, or fight or flight, that's a mouthful, response to something. One thing I'd like to say is when you're going into a battle where you're emotionally loaded, think of it like blowing out a birthday candle. Don't overthink those moments. Don't allow yourself to get overamped prior to walking into a scenario where you might potentially say something that you don't mean. Figure out a way to settle yourself down, be that breathing exercises. There are many different breathing exercises that you can do. I was taught a long time ago to sort of anchor myself by putting my thumb right here on the palm of my hand, middle finger on the other side, and give that a nice tight squeeze for 5 seconds. And basically what you're doing is taking your attention away from this mental hijack that's going on and placing it or focusing it on something otherwise. Breath, this tension or pressure that you're putting on your hands, but get yourself de-escalated so that when you go into that adverse situation, it's like blowing out the birthday candle. You're not overthinking it. You're not over-amplified. Second step to that is thinking through or placing yourself in a moment where you were calm, or you were otherwise the opposite of what you might be in that particular fight or flight moment. For me, I think of a time when I was on top of a tepui in Venezuela on my honeymoon. Tepui is basically a tabletop mountain. I was sitting on top of the tabletop mountain with my newly wedded wife. We were looking out over the horizon. It was the most beautiful sunset I'd ever seen, still to this day, that I've ever seen in my life. And that was a calm, serene moment. So it's this sort of the anti of anytime I get inflamed, so to speak. So I do this, think to that moment in time when I was sitting on top of that tepui with Stephanie, and I can usually calm myself down so that when I go into that adverse scenario, I'm mindful and thoughtful about what I do and say and how I act. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.